Hello, gorgeous. Welcome to HG Radio, everything beauty, cancer, and inspiration. Here is your co-founder and host, Kim Becker.
Hello, gorgeous, and thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and this is Hello, Gorgeous, everything beauty, cancer, and inspiration on Society Bites Radio, social interaction for the mind and soul. This episode is brought to you by Amplified Marketing Group. They specialize in affordable mobile solutions that will get you noticed and help you retain customers. Check them out at www.amplified.marketing. I'm so excited to welcome back our guest, Janine Kennedy. Janine is a registered nurse with a doctorate in Naturopathic Health, ND, and board-certified BCND. She was a nurse for many years, 30 years, and 17 years she's worked with biofeedback, but she found that nursing really wasn't her place that she wanted to be, that she found that there was a natural way to help people. And so I'm so excited to have her back. We talked in the last episode about what she does, and she shared with us some of her success stories. But now this episode, I really wanted to dive deep into how she does what she does. What is a bioscan machine? And we really want to talk about the Welltrants, the supplements, because we started to chat a little bit about it in the last episode, but it's not just about going to the drugstore and grabbing a vitamin, because many of those are filled with fillers, that it really is about the type of vitamin, and you need to understand what's in that vitamin, because you want, if you're going to take a vitamin, you want it to work effectively. So thank you, Janine, for coming back. So for our part 2 of our interview today.
You're very, very welcome.
So in the last episode, we talked a little bit about how I met you, and you were wonderful, and you helped Michael through a very difficult time that he had. And I know that I had him a lot longer, and his quality of life was much better in the years that he had after meeting you, that it was much greater. But then I reached out to you almost a year ago because I ended up with my own diagnosis. God has quite the sense of humor, and he decided that being a widow wasn't enough, that I needed to have my own cancer diagnosis. And so last November, I was diagnosed with a neuroendocrine cancer that they found on my colon. And I had to have surgery, and I had part of my colon removed. And as soon as I finished with that, I called you right away and came up and had a session with you, because I knew that I didn't, my whole thing is that I want to be able to heal I know my body is capable of healing myself. And the cancer diagnosis just came out of the blue for me. I was feeling good. I didn't have any symptoms at all. Well, maybe a few symptoms that I thought were normal, but it wasn't anything like I didn't have the fatigue. I didn't have any pain. There wasn't any of that. And so I understand that the quality of life that I want did not include doctor's visits and, scans and medical stuff all of the time. And so my first call after I got through things were to you, because I knew that you would be able to help me on a much deeper level. And I just wanted to make sure that, being a single parent, that I was going to be here for a really long time. So I came in, you put me on the bioscan machine, and recommended a regimen, which I had been on some vitamins, but I kind of dabbled in it until a year ago. And now I have my whole plethora of vitamins that I take on a daily basis. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the bioscan machine and what it does and why is it different? Like, what can it see that the human eye can't see?
Well, if we start with the bioscan machine, I'm hesitant because, as we know, there's a lot of liability in the world today, and especially with different things from other countries that work really well. But quantum physics and biophysics reveal that every substance, living or not, emits an electromagnetic wave. These are signals that can be measured and interpreted. So biophysicists have been cataloging these frequency signatures in a vast database since the early 1900s. So we know that everything has a frequency. We know that every cell and every organ in our body has a specific frequency it answers to. You know, when that opera singer hits a certain note, the glass breaks. So there's negative frequencies and there's positive frequencies. But when your organs are vibrating with the right frequency, they stay healthy and they operate as they're supposed to. But stress, toxins, age, nutrient deficiencies alter these frequencies, causing our organs to either underperform or overperform, which leads to a lot of health challenges. So I have been using these machines since 2003. The one I have now that I have been using since 2009, 2010, somewhere between 8 and 10, is the very best, most precise, strongest frequency machine I can find. I mean, there's a lot of ones that attach to externally to your hands. There's machines that send frequencies to kill and attack, but the device I use is very, very different. It's created to work with helping your body heal, with sending the precise frequency to the area so that it will work properly. So what happens is you put on a set of headphones. The headphones have a trigger sensor. We have a computer and software. And when you scan the body, it's picking up the frequencies and sending the signal, picking up the frequencies from the body and sending the signal back to the software where we can interpret it on a graph. So it's picking up, if it sends the signal to your heart, here's your right frequency, here's your instructions, are you working properly? And the energy of the heart will be picked up and sent back, and it will be displayed as a graphic representation of what's happening in the heart. Now, there's good energy, and there's low energy that's picked up, and also energy of parasites, viruses, disease, masses, everything, every matter, living or dead, emits a frequency. So it can pick up the frequency and display it closest to whatever frequency it finds. Let's say it picks up the frequency of a bacteria, the energy of a bacteria, then it's going to find the closest word to that frequency and display it on a graph so that you can see what may be blocking pathways in your body. So
it really does give you kind of a bird's eye view into a person's body, correct?
Yes, it gives you a beautiful blueprint. At a molecular level, we can pick up problems energetically years before even a PET scan can pick it up. So it gives you a wonderful blueprint of what's happening in your body at a molecular level. And it's giving you a graphic representation of the body's biological state.
But unlike a PET scan or a CT scan where they actually put a chemical inside of you that will light things up, this is harmless. Like it doesn't do anything negative.
Well, this is the beautiful part of it. There's no radiation, there's nothing that hurts you. And after we scan the body to see where the blockages may be, I can choose to put it in therapeutic mode, and I can send the precise frequency that's not radiating you, that's not a drug that's poisoning you, that's nothing toxic, but the precise frequency your body was made to work at, and balance your body, getting rid of the electromagnetic chaos and putting your body in an energetic state where it can heal much more effectively. And the example is I had a client that called me and she was having an asthma attack. She says, "What do I do?" And I said, "Well, go to ER." I wasn't even home. But, she was from another country and didn't have insurance, and she's sitting on my porch when I come home, gasping for air. And I put the headphones on her, in 7 minutes, she's breathing normal. So it has the ability, sometimes it can be quite drastic. When we give the body the energy that it needs, our body will heal itself. It's not like a lot of people know about right frequency. They take the opposite frequency and kill or attack. This is different. We believe in the best way to heal the body is giving it what it needs so the body can heal itself.
Well, we have a mutual friend that struggled with Lyme's disease, and I personally watched many of the episodes that she would have, from times where she would be walking upright, and then we would go visit her, and she was a young, like high school age young woman, and she would be in a wheelchair because she couldn't walk because of the Lyme. And, Michael was very close to them, and he told them all about you. and she started to come and see you and talk to us a little bit about that and what you were able to do for Lyme's disease in her.
Well, probably the best way to explain that it's like a beautiful, beautiful young woman. It's just so exciting for me to see her today, knowing that she got married, that she's living a full, active life. And I believe she married a pastor and that they have a church somewhere that she moved out of state.
Yes.
But to see her sharing the gifts that she has with the world and able to do it so much more effectively. So to really understand how I helped her, I'd like to explain a little bit about how the basic premise on how the body heals. Is that okay?
Yes, of course.
So the basic premise of everything is that we understand we have trillions of cells in our body. And over a period of 7 to 8 years, every cell gets replaced. That means our body's continually regenerating. We know that our liver's new every 6 months. We know that livers can get replaced. That's why we do liver surgeries, but I don't know why they do them, because you can rebuild your own liver. The thyroid takes 6 years to regenerate. Blood cells are 120 days. White blood cells renew every 10 days. And so blood diseases, it's like, well, give your body what you need. Those cells are continually regenerating. They'll regrow. This is happening on a continual basis. So of the trillions of cells, approximately 40 billion cells are going to get ready to divide. We learned that in 8th grade biology, that the mother cell gives birth to twins. So the mother cell has 2 baby cells, and most of it happens at night while we're sleeping. So the question is, what does the mother cell still need in order to have 2 healthy cells? Because if we can regenerate healthy cells, we're continually rebuilding our body. So it doesn't really matter what's wrong. The boy with Crohn's disease, that they told him he'll have it forever, but the medication they wanted him to take would have meant he'd have it forever, because it's a glue that took his pain away. It's like a medication was a paste that lines the wall of the intestine, and it relieves the pain, so it's wonderful, and you have to have pain relief, but it also absorbs the nutrients that keep you from regenerating the lining of your colon. And the lining of the colon is just skin, and the skin flakes off every 3 days and regenerates. So the boy opted out of the medication, took the nutrients, and the Crohn's went away. So it's like we just need to understand how we are created to work. So we know that when we eat food, we eat carbohydrates, fats, and protein for our dietary requirements, but the cells can't use those. The cells require mostly amino acid and minerals. Those are the building blocks that build the cells, along with thousands of specific cofactors, and it's all done with enzymatic actions. And of course, the cell has a fatty layer around it. But the bottom line is the cell structure is not the same thing we eat. It has to be, when we eat food, it has to be broken down to the form that cells can eat. And it has to happen in an organized manner with billions of cells every day. So when you go to sleep at night, your mother cells are circulating around your body, looking for the right nutrients that their babies need to be born healthy. So you're going to have about 40 billion baby cells are going to be born every morning when you get up. And that's how I helped. I think it was in the podcast before, we talked about Dr. Thomas, who Mayo Clinic gave days to live. And I says, well, tomorrow morning, let's birth healthy cells and see what the Lord can do. Because if you get the good cells ahead of the bad cells, you're going to win the war. So the secret isn't about killing the parasite, killing the bacteria, even killing with herbs, antibiotics, and then naturopaths do it with herbs. You kill parasites, and they grow even faster, because guess what their food is? Dead carcasses. So you keep doing these detoxes too aggressively, and there's a time and a place for detox, but if you don't build yourself up, you're going to kill the parasite, and you're going to feel better for a few days, and it's going to feed on its own dead carcass and grow even faster, and Lyme's will never go away. Mm-hmm. So the secret is in these cells that are regenerating.